Good morning and welcome to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. We have with us once again Dr. Geraldine Tan from the therapy room. Sawadee ka!
I'm
Welcome
back
back.
in Singapore.
Yay! How was your holiday in Phuket?
It was nice. And Angel's one, she looks fantabulous.
Except I was on the other side of the world. Also a very good holiday.
So for those of you who are wondering what we're talking about, Angel was in New York and Jerry was in Phuket for close to a week with her family. All right.
Yep.
Good to know that you guys enjoyed yourself. Your husband managed to get a few rounds of golf in?
Yes, he did. He had 2 mornings where he had 18 holes, full 18 holes without the rain.
Oh, nice.
Good for him. Pity he played golf on his own.
Oh,
Yeah.
on his own?
I mean, he wasn't there with friends.
Oh, right, yeah.
Part of a
yeah.
flight.
So the next time round, me and your husband, we'll go out there.
Sure, you can go.
You can go.
She's more than happy to let you guys go have some golf.
Okay, so today we're talking about eating disorders.
Yep, backed by popular demand. I don't know why so many people are asking for it.
You know, because many people, right, who are actually totally fine feel like they're overweight. I don't know why. And I think it's mostly women.
Do you think social media
Guys
has a
as
big
well.
play to do with has a lot to do with this because of the sort of unrealistic
Images.
expectations and images that are out there?
I think that leads to a lot of people having all the diets and or going on some sort of diet. Yeah, so but it may not be an eating disorder, which is clinical.
So an eating disorder is what? It starts with me looking in the mirror, and no matter how I actually look, I see fat, and I have to lose it.
That would be more your anorexia nervosa, your bulimia, where they have a distorted perception of themselves. Yeah, so it's slightly different from body image issues also. So some of them have body image issues without the eating disorders, but some of them have the eating disorders and they have a very warped perspective of their body.
Okay, so that's definitely not normal. So what do we do with people like that?
There's so many different kinds, right? But actually, let's start with the more commonplace one rather than the clinical one, right?
Okay.
So we have our fasting. So I don't know how many people do the intermittent fasting.
I've tried it.
Does it work?
Yes, it does.
Yes.
Absolutely does.
It does.
Why doesn't mine work?
Because it's what you're eating outside of your fasting window.
Yeah.
Okay.
And how long did you try it for?
A month or 2, and then I go, it doesn't work, so I stopped it.
Yeah, some
see, I
people
see what
may.
you-
Yeah, and some people may take longer to react to something like that.
And also, you're very skinny already. What
Yeah,
else
why
you
are you
Yeah, why
intermittent
not?
fasting?
Yeah.
Clever clothes, you hide all the fats, you know.
fat, no fat.
No, I'm sure. No.
Yeah, but the fasting one is an interesting one, right? Because you have the restrictive eating. So we want to distinguish between the regular fasting, the healthy fasting versus the clinical one. So we have fasting in different religions also. So you have the Muslims who do the puasa. We have the Catholics that do the Lent and they also fast. Yeah, I'm not sure about the other religions. Feel free to throw in, but I do know that there is the intermittent fasting, which is very, very popular nowadays. So those are not clinical disorders. Those are healthy fasting. They have very good intentions behind. When done properly, leads to a lot of health benefits.
Okay, so you
And
say.
emotional benefits.
So you say healthy intentions behind it. So when it comes to clinical disorders for eating, what are the unhealthy intentions behind it?
So you have the anorexia nervosa, the bulimia nervosa, where they are so obsessed with I need to restrict my calories. If I eat that sliver of potato chips, I'm going to gain
Yeah.
like a fat thigh or something like that. So it's very extreme. Glenn, are you identifying or do you remember
No,
something?
I remember people who completely stay away from carbs.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
carb
Not
diet.
even a tablespoon of rice because they
Wow.
think that it's going to make them put on weight.
Yeah,
Wow. Well, I've seen some individuals that are so thin you can almost see their bones, it's so skeletal. And those are the kind of people those are the kind of individuals that you're referring to, right? The ones that don't see themselves as they really are in the mirror.
No, no. So it leads to very severe, it can be very critical. It leads to severe like health problems. So anorexia nervosa, when you lose more than 30% of your weight in a very short period of time, and you will realize the menstrual cycle stops. And they are very happy about it because it's not troublesome. It just helps them to focus on other things. Uh, the they don't realize it, but their organs are starting to shut down.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Okay.
if your menstrual cycle stops, it means that particular organ stops, right? But it means everything else starts slowing down. you
Right.
know um they have osteoporosis. So we have teenage girls having osteoporosis because there's not enough nutrients going into their bones. So they literally, when the doctors test them, it's so brittle that if they
Oh.
fall down it can break.
Oh
Oh,
dear.
wow.
Yeah, it's that bad. It's
I mean, we're talking about
really.
ladies. I'm sure this applies to the guys as well.
Yeah.
Yes, so guys also can develop eating disorders, AN and BN, AN being anorexia nervosa, BN bulimia nervosa. Yes, so males also can have, not as, the numbers are not as great as the girls actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think for most guys, I mean, they eat everything and anything. I think that's a disorder as well.
Yeah.
You can't stop eating, eat everything.
What are you trying to say about me?
There you go. You have a disorder, Abdi.
But I'm sure overeating is a disorder as well, right?
is.
We can talk.
has
we can
to
talk
be.
about
I mean,
that.
if
yeah.
losing, what do you call, 30% of your weight
In a short
in a
time.
short period of time is a disorder, putting on 30% of weight in a short time is
Must be.
also a disorder.
Yeah,
That's-
for
yeah.
sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll continue to talk to Jerry on the Big Show TV. In the meantime, here's Belinda.
Are you talking about a child that couldn't stop eating? Once,
For-
was that an
Yes,
eating disorder?
the
Someone who couldn't stop
Prader-
eating.
Thank you for remembering. It's the Prader-Willi syndrome. So
Okay.
they have they cannot be satisfied. So their hunger cannot be satisfied, and it can be as bad as opening the freezer and eating something that is frozen. It is
Wow.
that bad. Yeah. So parents even have to padlock the fridges.
Wow, that's crazy.
We have a question on Facebook, Jerry. It's from Damien. He doesn't say whether this is his condition or someone he knows. He says, quick question. Someone who is obsessed with exercise and fitness and counts every single calorie in every meal, is that a disorder, or is that someone just trying to be very, very careful?
Or just someone being disciplined.
It's really difficult to say without more context, but it has to lead to a certain level of frustration. There is an obsession really with it. Your mind is just filled with it. So, what these patients usually say is that they are constantly consumed with the counting of calories, with the exercise. Once they eat something, then it's non-stop. Their brains continue to work non-stop. So it's really an obsession about this particular thing until to a point they find it very difficult to do anything else. These people are very intelligent, very capable A stars students or extremely capable adults. Yet they will tell you, I cannot function because my brain is just filled with counting calories, exercising, the next exercise, the next meal, and it drains them. By the end of the day, they're so tired.
Is a eating disorder, for want of a better phrase, in the head? You know what I mean? Like, is it caused by something from from someone's childhood?
Like a body
image issues, or what causes it?
Is it a perceptual issue? It is most so we use cognitive behavioral therapy. So we work with the cognition because primarily their perception is what we are working with and working on. Could there be traumas? Yes, it can be maybe due to interrelational relationships. So with their parents, or with their mom, or with their dad, or with an aunt, or it could be trauma, like they were sexually abused. It can also result in that. Some of it is the very classic one where we hear it all the time. My PE teacher, said that I was fat. Yeah, or my weight got announced to the whole class, or not announced, but you know how they record your weight, height and weight in the beginning of the year, and the person weighing you and the person recording is different. So this person shouts across to the next person, and everybody starts laughing, and that can cause some hurt to the one that is very, very self-conscious already.
Jerry, can the very simple things that parents do affect the child? For example, there are expressions, oh, look at my little chubby walla. Oh, look at my little fatty bum bum.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Does that affect a child as they grow up? Because children are sponges. They remember this stuff. Does that affect them?
So it is one of the contributing factor, but not the only one. I know a lot of parents who feel guilty about it, but it is not the only situation or the only thing that caused them to go into a disorder.
I mean, if it's not the parents, it's the relatives, right? Chinese New Year, oh, your kid is so chubby, or they pinch your cheeks, and then they're like, oh, you put on some weight this time. What can parents do? Because the parents may have not brought the child up in that sort of environment. What can the parents say to this rude relative that won't cut you off from the rest of the family?
Okay, so the child will want to see that the parent is protecting them. So as long as you tell off the other relative and say that's not very nice, that's good enough for the child.
Okay.
And the other side, we want to build resilience in the child, to tell the child, you have the choice to ignore what the person says because I don't see you that way.
Okay.
So
I think things are a lot more sensitive now than then. I mean, back in the day, your time, FD, or my time in the 70s, right? It's either you're fat or you're okay.
Yeah.
So you're fat or you're thin. Fat, thin, or
Pretty
just
handsome.
right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You go to what do you call a gathering or something, someone will go, oh, you lost so much weight, you're so thin now. Or, wow, you put on a lot of weight, you're very fat. Or, oh, you look very nice.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So, but these days, right, I can't help but feel like it's so much more confusing because we are trying to be extremely nice. So even if someone is obese, it's okay. Right? You don't tell someone he's obese. You can't say it's wrong or whatever.
You can't say.
But you see, back in the day, right, when someone tells you you are fat, and if you are really fat, right, you do something about it. And you lose that weight. These days, no. You can't even say it. So some people who are obese, who might be
May not
not
even
very
know
healthy, right, will just live with it because they think, hey,
no one else
I'm
is telling
protected.
me.
Nobody should tell me anything. So I don't have to do anything.
Or you
And
don't
then-
hear it from people.
Exactly. And then when they look at themselves in the mirror, they don't quite like what they see either. So who's to be blamed?
What do you think, Jerry? I mean, is it fat shaming, thin shaming, body shaming? You know,
But
Yeah,
it
you can't
shouldn't
shame
even be
anybody.
seen as shaming. You see, if that PE teacher you mentioned earlier on, right, tells a person off in front of everybody, that is wrong,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Because
granted.
you are humiliating the person in public. But if you're with family,
Yeah, people
and
you
it's
trust
the,
and
and
people
it's
will
the
love
truth,
but it's still humiliation, isn't it?
you. No, I mean, if it comes from a place of care,
an auntie
I
or
don't know
whatever,
if
but
it comes
not,
from
like your
care.
mother.
not in
No.
front of everyone, let's say,
Yeah.
right? I mean, look, at the end of the day, I always believe, one should monitor himself or herself. The weighing scale doesn't lie, right? If you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're looking at yourself and saying I'm fat, and then you go on the weighing scale, you're actually okay. Then you should tell yourself you're fine.
Yeah, moderate your expectations.
Well, there are two
Right, so-
different parts that you're talking about right now,
Oh, we can,
right?
we can
Hold on, hold on.
bring this up on air.
We'll go on air.
Please stand by one traffic
I will stand right next to the traffic on the road.
on the road. Huh? And tell us also what's happening on
Okay.
the road.
Yes.
Morning.
What were you saying about us that you had to mute yourself?
Ah, who are you calling fat?
Yeah. Nobody's calling anyone fat, but we are talking about eating disorders today, and Glenn had some thoughts
Yeah,
that
I mean,
you were talking about earlier.
I think one reason people are a bit confused these days, I don't know, maybe it's different from what you're talking about today, Jerry, but I do feel that, one of the reasons why there is so much debate these days when it comes to weight is because, unlike, in the good old days, it was just a very simple, it's either you're fat or you're not. Okay, you're fat, thin, or you're okay. When you go to a relative's place, they might go, "Hey, Glenn, you put on a bit of weight, huh?" And it might be the truth, right? Because they observe you, they see you growing up and stuff like that. I don't particularly think there's anything wrong with it, right? But maybe there are some people who will be scarred,
Yeah, for
when
sure.
when someone says something like that.
Yeah.
But not everyone is like that, correct? For me, it's like it's either I'm putting on weight or I'm okay. So even till this day, even when I was in school, right, I'm always aware of it. If I'm putting on a bit of weight, then I'll go for a run, or I won't, I'll cut back on
Diet
some
a
of the
little bit here
food,
and there, yeah.
And I think in terms of me, my psychology, mentally, I've always taken that with me.
But you,
You know what
are
I mean?
a very strong
Yes.
person.
Yeah.
Resilience.
And I don't think it's a because we grew up in the 70s or 80s. I think at no time in our lives is it ever okay to to comment on how somebody looks.
Yeah, but
You know
what
what I mean?
what I mean here is that because now, right, everyone practically says it's okay if you're overweight.
perfect.
Yeah, it's okay to be overweight, right? Am I right to say this?
I don't think people are saying that.
Overweight.
Yeah.
No,
No, but
I
I-
don't think it's.
No?
I don't think it's okay to be overweight, but perhaps I can position it this way. So, name calling in any way or any form is, to me, classified as passing judgment, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
well, as long as somebody passes a judgment, then I don't think it is right. Because who are you to pass that judgment? Do you know why the person is so skinny, or do you know why the person is so, fat? If fat is used in a very neutral way, we don't. It could be hormonal, it could be genetic, it could be due to medication. The one that is skinny is also not spared. So the one
Correct.
that is skinny also complain about, people calling them tikko or, bamboo stick, and they hate it. They really loathe it, just that they don't speak loud enough for us to hear. But they also don't like it. So to me, as long as we pass a judgment, I don't think that is right.
Yeah. I think
It's-
Jerry is spot on with
It's
this.
very interesting, Jerry, that you say that. I'll give you an instance. A young kid was growing up, and he was always referred to as Pipsqueak. He had a brother who was a lot bigger, a lot stronger, very fit, very whatever. And when that person now meets anyone bigger, fitter, in better condition than he is very intimidated. That is till today. He is very intimidated. So that simple word, pipsqueak, has lived with this person continuously.
So you see, all these people need to see psychologists.
No, but
All of them.
I totally agree
They need
with
to
what Jerry
deal
is
with their
saying
childhoodness.
because I mean, for example, if I were to go to a Chinese New Year gathering 1 year and I've put on weight because, say, I've got my period or I'm going through some hormonal issues, I don't want someone to come up to me and say, "Oh, you look like you put on a bit of weight."
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because I'd be like, "Yeah, but what's it to you?"
Yeah, in
Well,
general, you shouldn't
how does
say
this
anything.
change your life by telling me that I've put on weight or I've lost weight? And even if I've lost weight, how about saying you look very healthy instead? You know, or something more positive.
But maybe to
than
the
that.
person, you don't look healthy.
Yeah,
That's why.
then don't say anything at all.
That's good. So
then don't say anything
So I
at
think
all.
we should reserve the right to tell a person off if that person,
Comments on your looks.
yes.
Yes, and that is true.
We've got a question, Jerry, on Facebook, and you may have heard this when we talk. Ben has asked this question. You guys tease FD about being fat. FD, how do you really feel?
Aw.
No, and I have to say that I know they do it for my own good.
We're trying to get him to.
Exercise.
To be healthy.
To be
Yes.
healthy.
We want more of him
But-
for a longer time.
But there are times when it completely pisses me off.
I'm sure.
Oh yes, absolutely.
It
I'm sure
completely
it does.
pisses me
Yeah.
off. And when it pisses me off, you tell me if you have clients like this, Jerry. When it pisses me off, I go, to hell with it. I'm going to eat whatever the hell I want today.
Oh,
you go
reverse.
You go that
That's what it
direction.
does. That's what it does to
Is
some
that a
people.
resilience issue?
Yeah. What is that?
So sometimes you're so frustrated and so angry. I think many of us have done that before. Besides that whole rebellion part of things, we do stress eat, we do binge eat for a short burst of time. So we've had that experience before. Sometimes when I go out of my room and start looking for snacks, they go, Jerry is stressed. We all do that, right? So, when we have extreme emotions, that can lead us to eat more or less. So even if you're very, very happy, we've experienced that before. Whole bunch of friends together, we're really happy, we're drinking, we're eating, and then the next thing we realize, oh, I'm so stuffed, I'm so full.
Yeah.
So
But what?
Even happy emotions can
But what
lead
about
to-
doing something about it? This is what I mean, no, Jerry. Many people out there, right? They know that they are overweight, for example,
Yeah.
right? And they're unhappy, and they don't want people to say anything about them, right? But they're miserable
doing anything
and
about
not
it.
doing anything about it. What have you got to say about that?
Have we even asked them what do they want to do? I mean, FD, what would you like to try? Because everybody is prescribing what to do, but no one has asked you, FD, what do you want to do if you're
Oh.
not happy with it?
I'll tell you, I've lived with the word fat for so long, I just don't give a damn. I don't give a damn.
And
That's
you're
it.
entitled to
because
it. Yeah.
because everybody calls me fat, so I've reached a point where, okay, law, I'm fat law, I'm just going
So
to
you-
enjoy my life.
So you don't want to do anything about it.
It's not that I don't want to do anything about it, I don't think about it. You all think I'm fat, that's it.
Yeah, you look at FD, right? It doesn't look fat. It doesn't.
No.
Like most of us guys, right? We have visceral fat.
yeah.
Right, and that's what we have to watch.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
the fat around your waistline,
Yeah.
And your
Yeah.
heart.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
But if I change my question, FD, how do you want to be healthier? Would that be different for you?
I don't know. I don't think about it. Because it's this whole fat word. It's made me become very. I don't care. I just want to be happy Whatever makes me happy is happy. And I live now. No, let's be honest. We're being honest this morning. I hide behind. Listen, my words. I hide behind the fact, the saying that life's too short.
You hide behind it.
I hide behind that, and I know I'm doing it. I know I'm doing it.
Which brings to mind the phrase, right? Live to eat, eat to live.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
So,
I eat to live.
yeah.
Yeah.
You eat to live.
I eat to live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I live to eat. It makes me happy.
I eat to live as well.
And to each his own.
At least
right?
at this point of my life.
Yeah.
Then I would throw the challenge to, Glenn, Angel, and Sean. How do you have FD in a happy mood while doing many other things with you? Because
Yeah.
he's very happy doing activities with all of you.
Because I wanted to
So
ask,
what-
what can we do to positively impact him without driving him to go eat? Because you just said
Yeah.
that every time we
Not
sort
every
of-
time.
well,
Not every time.
a lot of time.
Because
well,
I know where that bottom feeling is.
when
you
he gets
want
annoyed,
me to be
he
healthy.
goes eat. He
Yeah.
goes
Yeah.
and binges or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But for us, it's only coming from the best place possible.
Yeah, of course.
But
Yeah.
but obviously it's reacting negatively once
Yeah.
in a while for him.
Yeah.
And I
Right.
would hate to do that, and I would hate to be responsible for
No,
that.
but don't get me
feeling.
wrong. I love my food. God knows
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love my
Same.
food.
Yeah.
But I have to restrict myself
Discipline.
because I
Yeah.
know it is good for me.
Yeah.
I've been called fat too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Over
am
the
I.
years?
Yeah.
My mom called me a sumo wrestler.
No.
It's different, Glenn.
What I'm trying to point out here is, and this is not to you guys. This is even to parents who have 2 or 3 children. Every child will react differently to everything you say.
Yeah.
Yes.
We cannot
Yes.
compare as well. lah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
No
Cannot.
judgment, no
Cannot.
comparing.
You can't compare because every single person is different.
But when you say someone is good looking and in great shape, that's judgment as well.
It is,
It
isn't
is.
it?
In a way.
Women-
So
Yeah.
what's a good thing of saying? What's
no,
a
but then,
neutral-
no. When we say, "Wow, you're fit, you're good looking," blah 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 blah, we use the term affirmation. I'm affirming that what you've done is good. It's judgment just the same.
Exactly, that's what I'm
It's
saying.
Judgment just the
Yeah.
same.
Anyway, okay, let's continue to talk to Jerry on the Big Show TV. In the meantime, here's Michael Jackson. They don't care about us on 1FM.
Good or bad? No,
No, I-
affirmation,
No,
no,
I-
negative
welcome
remarks.
to
I
nothing.
always think about what our late founding father said, Lee Kuan Yew. Because when he was, I think in his 70s, he was in very good shape.
Very
and there
good
was this
shape.
documentary, on TV where he was swimming at the Istana.
Yes.
Yeah.
And without his shirt. And man, he looked good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he said, you know what? To all Singaporeans, just don't eat too much.
Everything
And I
in
will
moderation.
never forget that.
Yeah.
It's every time I put on weight, I think about that. I'm like, yeah. He said, don't eat too much. And that's common sense,
It's
actually.
simple.
It is.
yeah.
Because if you're
It
just
is.
eating and eating and eating, because, eating is comfort to many people,
Yeah.
right? And you just want to eat, and you want to eat, and you want to eat, and you're not burning it off or whatever.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen? Seriously, what is going to happen to
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
But people don't
Okay,
care.
so the disorders, right? The disorders usually occur in silo. That means they are alone. Whether they restrict their food, whether they binge on their food, whether they purge their food, whether they exercise, usually it occurs individually. That means without anyone around them. So the disorders itself is very, very isolating, which is actually not what they want. They want to be accepted. They want to go out there. They want to connect with people. But when they have a disorder, it really just isolates them.
Yeah. But don't you also agree that there are people out there who are just stubborn? I mean, seriously, they are
No,
they
he's
are
right.
really, really stubborn.
He's right.
They are stubborn, and at the same time, they are proud of the fact that
They're
they
stubborn.
are stubborn.
And doing their own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they may come across as proud, Glenn. It's just It's their way of dealing with it.
No, but as I said, right, it doesn't
Depends
help when the media goes, it's okay to be like this, it's okay to
Yeah,
be like that.
yeah, I agree
Let's
with that.
just not even say it's okay. You've got like fashion shows with plus size
Yeah.
models and all that.
Yeah.
This is glamorizing the fact that
Fat positive.
it's okay.
It's a movement.
Right? I'm not saying that it's not positive, but when you glamorize it to that level, then it becomes a little bit tricky. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The
Because
problem
every-
with
Get
human
trickier.
beings is we are very, very visual creatures. So I like the way Angel puts it, when we tell another person or we affirm another person that you look healthy, then that is useful, for us, knowing that our blood works are healthy, in the healthy range, everything is in the healthy range. So health is vital, but we don't focus on the health because we cannot see health. We see size. So people then comment on the size, thinking that if you're overweight, you are unhealthy. If you are very, very skinny, you're unhealthy. But really, I don't know about that. I've got those that are a bit plus size, yet their blood works are better than many other people. Do we know that? We don't.
So what's the right thing then? I mean, don't say anything at all. Because if you go to someone and say you look healthy, or you go to a skinny person and go, oh, you're looking a bit unhealthy, that's the same thing as saying you're looking skinny, right? Or you're looking
We
underweight.
try not to give bad judgment.
I think the
And
weight.
unproductive judgment. I think if we look at judgment, and like what Angel said, right? What has it got to do with you? Whether I put on weight or lose weight, it's got nothing to do with you. So it's unhelpful, unproductive sort of comments. But if you're giving an affirmation, the person knows that they are on the right track. They are looking, not looking,
Jerry.
but they are.
Hold on, Jerry. We're going for traffic
Okay.
first. Singapore, and welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. This morning we are speaking to Dr. Geraldine Tan about eating disorders.
Yes, we are. I thought you were going to come up with something like crazy again.
No, because I
really
am very
good.
concerned for people with eating disorders, people who have this image of themselves, being overweight when they're actually okay. So which is why I always say, right? Some people say they don't want to step on the weighing scale because why? It's the truth. Right, in their minds, let's say they want to be 70 kilograms, right? Okay. But when they step on the scale, they're 85 kilograms. Okay, let's say the ideal weight is 70 kilograms. And you step on the scale, you're 85 kilograms. What does that mean? Okay, I have to try and cut down a little bit.
But I have a comment about that because
Yeah.
I've been trying to lose weight.
Okay.
Not right now, but maybe say 6 months ago, and I did feel I was putting on a bit because my clothes were not fitting right.
Okay.
So I started weighing myself. And I weighed myself. I was X amount. I'm not going to say how much I weighed. And then I started working out. And then I started fitting into my clothes better. I
Okay.
jumped back onto the scale and I was heavier than when I thought I was putting on weight.
But that's muscle.
But that's muscle.
Exactly.
So I feel the best way to say judge yourself in terms of weight is, I agree, don't step on the weighing scale, but judge how you look in the mirror or how your clothes fit. Like
How
how
you
you
feel
want your
when you look at
how
yourself.
you feel, yeah.
Yeah.
And the emotion attached to that and how your clothes feel. I exercise because I of course want to look good, but I also want my clothes to fit nicely. That's the only reason I work out.
So that's most people, when they put on the clothes and they look at themselves and they feel good. When you have a disorder, that compass is fault. They cannot see it anymore. So that's why it becomes a bit more troublesome.
So they constantly see themselves either fat or thin, right?
Yes, so visually and in emotionally and perceptually, everything has gone awry. Even when the scales tell them they have lost a kg and they are so critically ill, they'll tell you that they look fat.
So
Yeah.
how do we help someone like that? I mean, if we have someone like that in the family.
If there's a disorder, then there's the whole team that would look after them, from the psychiatrist to the psychologist. There would be on a program. NUHSGH has programs for eating disorders, support groups for eating disorders also. The different private psychologists also do that. Um, Definitely we can help. So it's a reversible disorder, so it's not a unreversible one. Just that eating disorders tend to stay with us for life, especially with the anorexia and the bulimia nervosa, especially anorexia nervosa, where the perception sometimes it creeps back in like a bad friend. It tells you bad things about yourself. But they would be more in charge, as in the person would be more in charge of these thoughts. So that's what we want to achieve also.
That is when someone has a disorder. What do you say to parents who think their child is beginning to head that way? What can they do?
So healthy eating is one, that's why I threw the challenge for Glenn, Angel, and Shaun. I mean, the 91.3 family that you have, to also eat with you. It is a community activity. So when the child is in the family, they eat with the family. So how the family eats and what they eat become very important. You cannot tell a child you must eat properly, and there you are picking all the carbs out, or just eating leaves. And the child looks at you and go, but you're doing the same thing as me. Why are you asking me to eat?
So no more prata and carrot cake breakfasts for us then.
Damn it.
In moderation.
Yeah,
In
no,
moderation.
it's all fruit. We share one plate.
So you know what? If we go for our prata breakfast, let's say, okay?
Yes.
Of course, we don't
Yes.
have like 3 telos and 2 kosong, a total of 5 pratas. No, you can have like 2 pratas or whatever, maybe 2 kosongs, and then. That could be your lunch. If you're having it at like 10 plus in the morning,
yeah.
then
You skip lunch.
don't have anything for lunch.
Yeah.
Your next meal is dinner.
Yeah, which is what you do, FD.
Yeah, when I do
yeah.
a prata breakfast, it's normally
Usually
nothing
skip
till dinner
lunch.
because pratas are just so damn filling.
Yeah, now I feel like prata.
So it's just balancing things out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's also understanding your body and how
Yeah.
it works and how much protein you need, how
Yeah.
much calories you need
And
to
how
take.
your body breaks down particular
Yeah,
foods, because not
correct.
all bodies break down foods
the
the
same way.
same
for
way.
vegetables is the
Some
same.
people have prata at 10 o'clock. Then for lunch, they'll have chicken rice.
Oh my gosh.
And then in the afternoon, maybe they'll have
snack.
like peng kueh or something
Like a
like
curry
that
puff
with,
and-
with coffee.
yeah.
And then after in the evening, they'll have maybe nasi padang or
Bak kut
something.
teh.
And just before sleeping, they'll have a snack.
Yes, no, this is
I
true.
gotta say,
A normal
I've,
Singaporean.
I've got a gut on me, but I can't eat like that. I can't eat like that. That's way too much for me.
But we are talking about the individual again, you
Yes.
see, and the individual knowing how it works. I'm expanding it to the community now, and the community, eating as a community, eating healthily as a community, and then supporting each other. That would be really interesting to see.
Okay. I
Yes.
just want to say that there are many people out there who want to say things, but these days, right,
Don't.
They're not.
don't, right? Because, they're not being honest because they know it's not
Politically correct.
I think
to
if
be
you-
honest.
I think if
And
you-
that is the sad thing, I think.
If you don't have anything positive or constructive
Don't
to say,
say,
don't
right?
say it at
Yeah.
all. Yes, that's my belief.
I just have one more question for you, Jerry, and I think Sean's got a question as well. Can these eating disorders be OCD?
They have an obsessive element there, but it is different from obsessive compulsive disorder. It is a
Okay.
different disorder altogether.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shawnee?
Yeah, so in the millennial circles, I don't know if you guys know about this, but we discuss this a lot. So things like your fat positivity, your body shaming and stuff like that. So we know that we are not allowed to talk about or how heavy you look or how even good or bad
This
that you look.
during your spin classes and...
No, just in general. This is what like the millennials.
Because I think if you're
and
too heavy, you'll break the spin bike.
no, it's quite strong as well. Anyways. So because of that, we are also forced to answer the question that Angel brought up on Facebook Live just now, which was what do we talk to? Or
What
how
do we say?
say to people that it forces us to engage in deeper conversations in understanding people a lot more than just like, oh, you look like you put on weight. It's like, oh, what are your hobbies or
What is
what
a
do you
new way
do?
of saying the same thing without
Yeah,
hurting the
it's
person?
about engaging people on a deeper level rather than just like complimenting them on what they wear or how they look.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
Interesting.
Wow, I
amazing.
love that, Sean.
Yeah,
It's
what-
looking beyond that surface. It's,
Oh, it's not me, lah.
really
It's
going
what
beneath.
millennials are talking about now.
But what if you said, like, hey, I'm looking at you, you drank a lot of water, is it?
You look very hydrated.
You look very hydrated.
You look
that's very well.
extremely hydrated this
What's
morning.
your water plan? I would love to know your water plan. How many liters a day do you get in? Share with me your secret. It's amazing.
But it's nice and positive. I mean, it's the way you deliver it as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
You know, like,
You look extremely dehydrated.
Like a raisin.
you look almost like
I think you need to drink more water.
You look thirsty. Here's some water. That's quite positive, right? You're giving people water.
Hang
Well,
on, I'm
instead
gonna
of
have
saying
some
you-
water.
I'm not eating anytime soon.
No.
Instead of saying you look thirsty, you can say, would you like some water?
Would you like some water? I'm offering you some water. I think that's very positive.
Yes.
That's a good.
Don't
that's
say
a-
you look anything.
Yeah, don't say you look. Okay.
Okay.
I'm
And-
gonna leave all of you, but I've got something from Cesar Chavez. He's a civil rights activist.
I thought it was a
And I love
boxer.
what he-
Cesar
Cesar
Chavez.
Chavez. No. Oh, sorry, that's
I think
another
he is a
Chavez.
boxer too, I think. Yeah, but he says if you really want to make a friend, go to someone's house and eat with him. The people who give you their food give you their heart.
Aw, that's nice.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jerry, for joining us.
No worries. I'll see all of you next week.
What are you having for lunch, by the way?
5 pratas.
I am not sharing with you anymore.
Smart girl.
All right, have a nice day.
Bye, Jerry.